Hi, everyone. It's Gerry Dulac along with Ray Fittipaldo at Acrisure Stadium. And Ray, a stunning performance by the Steelers, both offensively, defensively as well, and winning by a big number against the Cincinnati Bengals, 34-11. You know, all year people have been asking questions. What's wrong with the Steeler offense? How can you fix it? I think the answer is very simple. Play the Cincinnati Bengals.
That's the only team they played well against in the last months, Gerry. And it wasn't like the Steelers were trying to specifically attack the Bengals with their passing game. But you notice Pat Freiermuth wasn't a factor. The receivers were a factor. 86-yard touchdown from George Pickens on the second snap of the game. A 66-yarder later in the game. Big night for George Pickens.
Yeah, 2 long touchdowns, as you said. You know, Ray, that's the 4th touchdown of at least 71 yards by the Steelers this year. It was the longest play from scrimmage in the NFL, and it came on the second offensive play of the game for the Steelers, and it really energized the offense. Obviously, it got Mason Rudolph into the game, who's making his first start in more than 2 years, and it got George Pickens involved in the game, too, after what was somewhat of a tumultuous week for him with all the criticism being directed at him.
Yeah, Mike Tomlin always talks about overcoming adversity, and I thought George Pickens really showed some resolve. I mean, it had to be a tough week for him. You know it was a tough week for his teammates. They had to answer questions about it all week. So for him to come out 195 yards on 4 catches, big week for George.
Yeah, it really was an incredible performance by Mason Rudolph, too. When you consider he hadn't played in over 2 years, he comes out, he completes his first 5 passes. He has a perfect passer rating for 158.3. Right. They jump out to another 14-point lead. They did that in Indy. It was 13-0. Right. But then they watched the Colts score 30 unanswered points. Not this time. They kept piling on. It was 24-0 at halftime. And, Mason Rudolph is 17 of 27, 290 yards. That's the most passing yards by a Steeler quarterback this season.
How about the trust they showed in Rudolph to throw the ball at the end of the first half? They could have just taken a knee or punted it away there. They went down the field, they got a field goal. So it's going to be an interesting decision for Mike Tomlin this week. If Kenny Pickett is fully healthy, do you go back to your starter or do you go with a hot hand?
Yeah, after the way Mason Rudolph played to get 283 yards in the first half, to me, you stick with the hot hand and just let Kenny Pickett sit another week if you have to. Have him ready, be the backup quarterback in case they struggle. But, Ray, you have to give props to the defense, too. 3 interceptions. All 3 of those picks led to points. It turned into 17 points. And 2 of those were by players who were starting at safety for the first time all season and played every snap. That's Patrick Peterson at cornerback, who was converted because of the injuries, and Eric Rowe, who was playing his first game with the Steelers.
Yeah, Eric Rowe signed to the practice squad about a month ago. Miles Jack signed to the practice squad about a month ago. Both those guys played big roles today. Jack had to play almost the entire game after Landon Roberts went out with a pec injury in the second quarter. So now they're down 3 starters on the inside. It's going to be up to Miles Jack, it's going to be up to Mark Robinson, and Michael Walker to get it done here for the rest of the season.
Yeah, we have to imagine that Landon Roberts suffered a pec injury. Typically, those injuries knock a guy out for a season, and there's only 2 games left. I doubt he is going to come back. Ray keeps the Steelers, puts them at 8-7, keeps them alive for a playoff spot. They're certainly going to have to win their last 2 games. 10-7 is going to do it, but they knocked the Bengals down to 8-7, make it difficult for them. It was a big, big win for them, not just in how big they won, but just to be able to stay alive.
In Seattle, Gerry, the Steelers are 1-7 all the time. They got to break that jinx next Sunday if they want to stay in it.
That's where the Steelers head next, New Year's Eve game against the Seahawks. For Ray Fittipaldo, I'm Gerry Dulac. You're watching Post-Gazette.com.
Thank you for checking out this content from Post-Gazette Sports. If you watch this video on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to our channel. For all of the sports coverage the Post-Gazette has to offer, visit post-gazette.com.